This is day 4 on ADHD medication, Vyvanse, 30 milligrams. Learned from my mistake a few days ago of taking medication on an empty stomach. That is a bad idea, at least for me. And having read the leaflets, it suggests that or it tells you, instructs you to eat it with, or to take them with food. So I wouldn't go in taking anything like that on an empty stomach because it made me feel super anxious. Today, in terms of my anxiety, it has been a lot better, I would say. Still feel, the only way I can describe it is like easily excitable. So it's like my baseline level of dopamine is raised, and therefore if I do something that lights me up or is exciting, it pushes my dopamine to levels that maybe I'm not used to experiencing. And that can come across as close to being feelings of like panic. But I think it's mostly excitement. I would also say as well that I feel like I slept pretty well last night. And I know that's not something that people would normally say on ADHD medication. In fact, it's quite common to have issues getting to sleep. But that's not been my experience so far. I have not had any problems falling asleep. But this morning I woke up feeling pretty fresh, and that's quite unusual as well. I normally wake up feeling pretty groggy, so that was a nice experience. So yeah, it's been day 4. I was always planning on not taking it over the weekend, only because I am afraid of building up tolerance. I quite often hear stories of people that do take it every day that build up tolerance and have to end up taking more, and I just don't want to be in that situation. The other thing that dawned on me today was that in hindsight, I'm not sure if taking this ADHD medication now at this particular juncture of my life was a good idea. And I guess I can't really explain that properly without giving you some background information. So I live with my girlfriend. Those of you that have been on the channel for a long time will know that I had a development project, a place that I bought that I'd done up, and it was always my intention to live there, but ended up moving in with my girlfriend, so we live at her house and I rent my place out. And she also has bought a fixer-upper, and there are renovations going on there at the moment, and those renovations have been big enough that we can't live there at the moment. And so, being that there's nowhere else really we can go apart from to our families, and I don't feel particularly comfortable staying at her parents, and she doesn't feel particularly comfortable living with my parents, so we've just agreed that for the next 3 or 4 weeks, hopefully it won't be any longer than that, we are gonna stay in separate places. And where I'm going with this is there's an awful lot of interruption and stress to daily life, and there isn't necessarily a routine. Another stress I guess I have at the moment is that I handed in my notice a few weeks ago to a job, and I'm pretty sure I struggled with that job because of my ADHD symptoms, but I'll cover that in another video. But so I've had all this change of having to move out of a house, losing or quitting my job, and then starting this medication and having to live in a different place. And it's not ideal to be starting medication when things are kind of up in the air, because when I feel anxiety, or I feel low, or I feel good, when I have these different emotions going on, how can I determine what is the medication and what is just my life circumstances? Like, for instance, it's not a nice place to be when you don't know where your next paycheck is coming from, and that obviously causes anxiety, and so does taking stimulant medication. So how much of the anxiety that I feel is due to the fact that I'm worried about my finances, and how much of it is due to the medication? So I guess if I could give any kind of advice, it would be that you're going to be much better taking medication if your life has been fairly stable for a while. And by stable, I just mean that you have a place to call home, and you've been there for a little while. Maybe you've had a job or a career, or maybe you've been out of work, or whatever it is, but your life has been fairly steady in terms of your day-to-day before you start the medication, because then you have a really solid base to compare you pre-medication and post-medication. And that's what I'm finding tricky at the moment. Ultimately, I wanted to try the medication because I was struggling to focus on certain things that I needed to focus on to advance in life, and that might be, well, in this case it's job hunting, but when I was in work, it's paying attention to training videos and stuff like that. I was really struggling, and at this particular moment in time, there isn't really anything I have to do that requires huge amounts of my focus, and so I feel like what I'm feeling mostly are the side effects, and I'm not having much opportunity to experience the benefits or the things that medication is supposed to help with. I mentioned a few days ago it definitely did help with job hunting. I was able to just focus on job hunting without anything around me distracting me, and I do have distractions. I've realized that when I've had to focus in the past, everything has to be right. I have to have no distractions going on around me. I have to have maybe some music or something playing in the background, and anything outside of that, like a car alarm going off or someone interrupting me, I lose all focus, and then I really struggle to get back on track. And when I was doing job hunting the other day, I found that there were lots of distractions going on around me, particularly as I am living at my dad's place at the moment, and there's just his day-to-day life going on around me, and it's a big open plan house as well, so you can't really get away from it. But I was able to focus on going through the job boards without any of the distractions pulling me out of that focus. And if they did pull me out for whatever reason, like if someone spoke to me, it was quite easy for me to get back into it. So it's fair to say that the one time I've had to test the benefits of Vyvanse, I have felt that there's been a benefit there. But anxiety has been one of the overriding factors, and also my loss of appetite. So I would say my appetite's come back slightly today, but I'm definitely eating less than I normally would. I'm not feeling the urge to snack. And I guess there's a kind of break between the urge to eat something and eating it. So I'll give you an example. Like when I have been editing a video for this channel, like I've done a few videos on this channel that have required a lot of editing, and that's one of the things I can really super focus on sometimes. But obviously what happens is when you're super focused on something is you're not focused on everything else, and that typically includes what I'm eating. So I'll be working all day on editing a video and I won't realise I'm hungry until I'm absolutely starving, and at that point all I want to do is eat something. So I will run downstairs, and whatever is quick and convenient I will eat. And of course whatever is quick and convenient is normally shit processed food. So there's a lot of issues sometimes around binge eating or eating the wrong things when you have ADHD, because it's hard to make the right choices at the right time, and it requires a lot of thinking ahead and planning. But since I've been taking the medication, this hunger that I feel, there's like a gap. So I'll consider eating a pack of crisps or some biscuits or something like that, and then there'll be a break where I don't feel that urgent need to eat those things. I can think and consider whether I actually want to eat them, whether that would be a good idea, how I would feel after eating them, and then I can make better choices, essentially. So I guess that is another useful element. I haven't weighed myself this week, but I suspect I have probably lost weight. I certainly feel like my stomach is trimmer. And again, I guess this is a good thing in a way, but I don't just want to lose weight, I want to lose fat. So what I want to try and do at some point this week is to introduce some kind of like getting back to the gym, weight training. But yeah, you're not here to hear about my plans, just day 4 of the medication. I would say it is definitely getting easier. The anxious energy has definitely calmed down slightly, although it is still there when I get excited about something. Sleep has been better. And that's been it so far. That's all I can report. Tomorrow's going to be day 5, and then I will take a break over the weekend. It will be interesting to see how different I feel on the Saturday versus how I felt every day this week. But I'll report on that another day. So again, if you're watching this video, thanks. It's the comments are always what keeps me going. I say this again and again, but knowing that the stuff that I'm putting out there and me being as open and as vulnerable as I can be with you guys, knowing that helps you is what keeps me going. So let me know in the comments, has this video helped you? Tell me about your struggles, your symptoms of ADHD. Have you started medication? If so, what are you taking, and how long have you been taking it? Just let me know, because those comments also help other people as well. So thanks again for watching, and I will speak to you soon.